Kicking off Peach's Pit Party with the latest from Kublai Khan. I hope you are doing well. It is September 12th, 2025. I am so thankful the weekend is almost here. We'll get through this afternoon as fast as possible. If you want to get a hold of me, you can over at 208-535-1015. Now, this morning, I announced the two giveaways that we are doing next week. They're huge. In This Moment, Day Seeker, The Funeral Portrait, and Dead. They're, of course, going to be at the Mountain America Center on Friday, October 10th. And we have your tickets to go to that show. Not only that, well, first of all, I'll tell you how you can win tickets. Starting on Monday, listen for back-to-back tracks from any of the four bands on the bill. In This Moment, Day Seeker, The Funeral Portrait, or Dead. When you hear those back-to-back tracks, be caller 20, score a pair of tickets to the show. Every ticket winner, though, is in the running for the ultimate VIP upgrade. Get this, a meet and greet with Maria Brink of In This Moment, and even the opportunity to walk with her to the stage when the band goes on. We're calling it Be in the Moment within This Moment at the Mountain America Center on Friday, October 10th. There's that giveaway we have. And then also, starting on Monday, we're doing this halfway giveaway to Aftershock, the giant festival in Sacramento. I don't know how many bands are actually on that bill, but there's a lot. There's a lot. And so we want to send you there with the 4-day GA passes, but you have to find your way to Sacramento. We can't have somebody win these and then go, oh, I thought everything was free when it comes to driving, flying, hotel, everything. No, we just have the 4-day GA passes for you. You're on your own when it comes to gas, flights, hitchhiking, maybe even selling plasma to make it to California. We need serious people for this giveaway. I mean, these 4-day GA passes are $600 each. Like, they're crazy expensive. We got you into Aftershock. You just have to get there. So starting on Monday, listen for the cue to call, be caller 20, and then you have to flex your brain with our half and half game. We mash together 5 seconds of one band song with 5 seconds of another band song. And if you can name both bands off of the Aftershock lineup, you score a pair of 4-day GA passes to Aftershock. Again, we've got your tickets, but you've got to get your own butt to Sacramento. It's the halfway giveaway as well, launching on Monday. Like I said, two huge giveaways. Peach's Pit Party will be back here in just a few on K-Bear 101. Well, this is lovely. The first article that I read for the afternoon show, this person just found a whole bunch of dead pets intended for cremation in a storage unit. Yeah. Imagine that. You're on a show like Storage Wars. You're all bidding this money. You don't know what's exactly inside. Next thing you know, boom, there's dead Rover right there just laying on the ground with, cats and, oh, that's horrible. I'm sorry for even talking about this. That was literally the first thing that I saw. The radio prep just sucks. It's just like, oh, what's today? National World Dolphin Day. Okay. National Video Games Day as well. Then it asks, what is the very first video game you ever played? Should we ask that for To Peach Their Own? Actually, I might, just because To Peach Their Own, it's sometimes a struggle to try to find a question that you haven't asked before or something new. Or, you have to think of a question that everyone has a unique answer to, but then also you don't want to have like too many people say the same thing. Like if I were to ask the question, like, what's the worst song you've ever heard? I immediately know the comment section is going to be Taylor Swift, Cardi B, Kanye West. You're going to get that one guy that says Sleep Token, another one that goes, Metallica, one. But even if I put, like, what's the one song that you hate? It'll be anything by Taylor Swift. So this is a good question. What is the very first video game you ever played? When I first got, I did have a Game Boy Color, but I barely played that. The first system I got was the Nintendo GameCube. I know, such a baby, very young. It was the Nintendo GameCube when I was like 7 or 8, got it for Christmas. I played Crash Bandicoot and the Wrath of Cortex, played that one, played SSX Tricky. I think I've asked this question before, and I always get like, we always see the age differences in the K-Bear Rock Army with this type of question, because it's like, oh yeah, I played Pawn, the first video game, versus like somebody who was born recently, like Maddie. our marketing assistant down the hall, born in 2006. Maybe I should ask her what her first video game is. I'm sure it's something fairly recent. Anyway, let's move on to Deftones. My mind is a mountain on Peach's Pit Party. I came across another question. What's the worst concert you've ever been to? I know I've asked this one to Peach their own before. I will definitely ask it again in the future. And I can't honestly think of an answer for it, really. I mean, the worst performance-wise, I don't even want to name the band just because it was here in the area. But I was highly disappointed. There was a lot of talk from Jade and Victor saying that this band was really good live. They're awesome to see despite their recordings. And then when we saw them, I was just not blown away whatsoever. I think I left early. I think we all did just because it was one of those. I was like, I don't care. I've seen enough, you know. What's the worst concert you've ever been to? This person said they went to go see James Brown as the headliner one night at a festival in the early 2000s. Of course, James Brown, known for getting wasted, and I mean wasted. He kept singing the same lines over and over, according to this person. He introduced the band at least 5 times. He just laid down on the stage, didn't sing for a while. Terrible concert, funny memories. Yeah, because you know what? It makes for a fun time. We get to make fun of it in the near future, you know. Now, this one made me laugh. Because this guy went to go see Sir Mix-a-Lot, which is the one-hit wonder guy. You know, Baby Got Back. You know, or he's a one-hit wonder for sure. Like, I don't know why you would go see Sir Mix-a-Lot in concert, but the opening act says here from the person, the opening act warned everyone it was going to be terrible. Your opening act dissing you like that? I wonder how bad it actually was. Maybe I should watch some Sir Mix-a-Lot live footage on YouTube and see if there's anything worth laughing at on there. You know, there's that joke online that whenever a band just pretends to end the show and then they, you know, go off stage and then everyone starts cheering their name and magically they come back out on stage and perform one more song, the whole adult peekaboo game that bands like to do. I feel like this is the internet version of that game. When bands just delete everything off of their Instagram, they change their profile picture to like maybe a black screen, just the color black. Atreyu, the latest band to do such a thing, they didn't delete all the posts off of their Facebook. They did, however, delete all of their posts on Instagram. They blacked out their cover photo, their picture. Victor's walking in. Victor, don't you love it when bands just clear their social media feeds?
Well, what does it mean?
What's going on? Atreyu, the latest band, to do that, and they put R.I.P. in the bio, so many people are speculating that the band has broken up. And honestly, they're just going to be announcing another single.
A song called R.I.P.
Yeah. They just announced a tour.
Yeah.
So
they're done for.
Right.
They're done.
I love the people that are just insulting the band online too. They're like, that band died when Alex did. When they kicked Alex out.
Jeez. Yeah, that's ridiculous. You'd think by this point people would get it. Yeah, they get it.
And then the news outlets, they always see this as an opportunity to be like, oh, Atreyu, what are they doing?
Yeah.
And sure enough, it just... How did the remote go?
It was packed. It was crazy.
Good.
It was wild.
I'm glad.
I've got a box full of signups here, and I guess we'll have to travel back in time, I'm guessing, and draw a winner on Facebook.
Yeah, because this is towards the end of the 2 p.m. hour. Through the magic of radio, we're doing this break.
Yes.
By now, congratulations to so-and-so for...
Well, why don't we just draw it right now?
Sure.
Okay, hang on. Let me get the bucket.
Victor's grabbing the black and red bucket. I had a listener text me personally asking if that was it for Mudvayne tickets. I'm like, yep, we're done.
That's our final pair.
We did like 3 weeks of giveaways.
Here, I'll get the pens out and the notepad.
How many signups did we get? A lot?
A lot.
Oh, nice. Did you see the post I sent you on Facebook?
No.
Listener Amber posted in Life in Pocatello, go see Victor at the Walmart on the market side.
Yes, she showed me that. It was very kind of her
to
make that post on our behalf. Okay, Peaches, since you can't see in the bucket, and you weren't there, you reach in and just pull one out. You want me to stir it up a little more?
Yeah, stir it up a little bit.
Okay, here you guys can hear me stirring. All right. Okay. All right, Peaches.
Here we go. Who is our lucky winner? The final pair of pit tickets.
You want the bucket closer? Even tall peaches can't reach. All right, who do we got?
Our final winner. This person has some cool handwriting. They're from Downey.
They're from Downey.
Yeah.
Oh, who? Can you read it?
Sammy Passmore.
Sammy Passmore, congratulations.
Hey, she was born in, or he, I don't know. But, by the handwriting, I'm assuming it's a girl.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you can usually tell.
But yet again, I also have pretty handwriting, and
I do.
But still, it looks like a dude wrote it.
All right. Well, cool. Congratulations to Sammy. Peaches will call you and get your. Well, I guess we got the info, but let you know how to get your tickets.
Now you have to drive from Downey to Idaho Falls to pick these tickets up.
That's maybe they can have someone from IF pick them up for them or something.
Maybe,
I don't know. We'll see.
We did launch 2 other giveaways. I talked about that at the beginning part of the show. We got Aftershock. We got In This Moment, Be in the Moment within this moment.
Busy week coming up with lots of giveaways.
Get to be on stage within this moment. So that's really, really cool.
Heck yeah. Yeah, that's an awesome prize package, and those Aftershock tickets are just nuts.
Yeah. So we'll be doing the half and half game next week, and I'll be doing some digging to see which songs I'll pick.
All right.
Which ones I'll pick for that game. On Sunday, the Baltimore Ravens, they play the Cleveland Browns in Baltimore for their home opener. The team seems to have realized that food prices have gone up again this year, so they're trying to make it a bit easier on fans' budgets once they're inside M&T Back Stadium. They've launched the Flock Friendly menu, which will feature 11 items under $5, including a chicken sandwich, nachos, hot dogs, French fries, and a 12-ounce beer, among other items. 3-time Grand Slam champ and former number 1 ranked tennis player Andy Murray has taken up a new sport. I don't consider this one a sport, golf. The 38-year-old retired from tennis last year and has started golfing up to 4 times a week. Murray is hoping to get his handicap down, so he's a scratch golfer. If that happens, he says he's going to enter the 2027 regional qualifying for the British Open. A couple of my friends have done it, and it would just be a fun thing to do. If you got to the level when you're able to do that, I would do it, but I certainly don't think I would have any chance of qualifying for the Open, is what he said. You might see fewer drivers take their cars off the track at NASCAR events the rest of this season. Drivers Ross Chastain and Shane Van Gisbergen drove on and off the grass infield multiple times following the race on Sunday in Madison, Illinois. Other crews immediately called them out because it's commonly known as a tactic to add weight to a car by making sure rocks and other items stick to the tires before reaching the inspection area. NASCAR officials sent out a memo reminding teams that they're not allowed to do that under the current rules. We'll see if the drivers obey or if they'll risk disqualifications by continuing the practice. That does it for your Shot Clock Sports Update right here on K-Bear 101. Today is National Video Game Day, which is different from National Video Games Day. Yeah, they're 2 separate holidays. Let me look that up again real quick. National Video Game Day, September 12th, today. National Video Games Day. I thought I heard Justin say, yeah, it was on July 8th. That's what Justin told me. There's 2 different video games days. Anyway, that's besides the point here. There was a guy in China. His grandma, unfortunately, just passed away, and he cared for her from when he was a child to now. I think he's a young adult. I don't know how old he is, but as a way to say goodbye to her, he said, you know what? I'm going to make a video game created for the original Game Boy, which apparently he has, and he has the skill to make something like that. And he made a very short video game where players care for their aging grandmother who was injured in a fall, which is what happened to him. And the game is fairly straightforward. Users finish simple tasks for grandma, such as cooking or cleaning, pushing her around in a wheelchair, even giving her baths. The sad part is they spoiled the ending too. The grandmother says goodbye in the end, the grandmother says goodbye to their grandchild before a giant bird carries her off in a poetic reference to her death. Wow. I mean, if you want to get it, I think it's available. Can you buy it? What's it even called? Is it all in Chinese? I'm assuming it's all in Chinese, but what's the title? It just says grandma. I'm sure he just made one for himself and plans on playing it over and over and over again. I would think that Anyway, let's move on here to In This Moment featuring Kim Dracula. It's Heretic. Yesterday on the show, I asked AI to help me determine which tight end to start for my fantasy football team. Luckily, I went along with what ChatGPT said, started Zach Ertz, and sure enough, he got 18 points, which is the highest I've ever seen a tight end get. So shout out to ChatGPT. Shout out to Zach for having a great game. I'm trying my best to be undefeated. Well, I say that every year. And then I have like the best first week, and then all the other weeks just suck, you know. But I was looking here at this list too while I was just after the Shot Clock Sports Update. I scrolled down and I saw this whole thing about best states for sports fans. And some number crunchers at the Ticket Compare website figured out which states, along with the District of Columbia, were the best and worst for sports fans. So they looked at 7 factors: the number of professional teams, professional championships, NCAA championships, colleges, high school students who play sports, sports-related college degrees, and jobs in the sports industry. Obviously, you got to think like number 1 is California, and it is. But 2 is Ohio. 3, Kansas. I thought Texas would be higher. That's only number 4. You want to know who's at the very bottom? Number 51? Idaho. Idaho is at the very bottom, which makes sense because, I mean, there's no professional teams here. There's no, Boise State's a pretty big team, which I thought that would carry us a little bit, but no. 51. One of those stupid radio breaks where I'm just like, you know what? Let's talk about something silly. And I'm sure somebody out there will be like, hey, by the way, did you know Idaho is ranked the worst? I heard it on K-Bear. Idaho is ranked the worst when it comes to being a sports fan. The worst place for sports fans is apparently Idaho. I was just really diving deep onto how many different albums or just new songs were released today. And sure enough, there's been quite a lot. I mean, even more so than usual. I have this bot. So Nick Nocturnal, the now former streamer, he had a Discord server. And he had this bot, or I don't think it was a bot. I think it was like an actual person that somehow dug up literally every single EP album that came out for every Friday of the week. Like he has a whole list in alphabetical order just for everyone to be like, okay, let me check this one out, see if I like it. A great way to discover new music. And there's a lot. I'm still scrolling. There's tons and tons of different songs, different albums, different things on this list here. And I know Silverstein released a new album today. They released their second album of the year. I know Lorna Shore just released I Feel the Ever Black Festering Within Me. That came out today as well. I was listening to some of it while doing some behind the scenes duties this morning. I kind of wanted to play it for Jenk's show, like play the entire thing, but just didn't have time to. Wasn't set a copy. I didn't want to go through all the songs and get rid of all the explicit words and do a radio edit of it, but I have a good feeling we'll take some other tracks off of there for Jenk's show, which, by the way, happens Saturday nights, 10 p.m. to 2 a.m. here on K-Bear 101. Do you want a creepy story? This Calgary man, he was charged after allegedly making a tunnel to his upstairs neighbor's apartment. I don't see the reason why. The reason why he decided to do this type of thing, but the victim told police she had been having issues with her downstairs neighbor and they were growing worse. So I don't know if they were having arguments back and forth or what was going on, if he was making noise. And then all of a sudden there's just a hole in one of her walls. Like right behind, I see a picture here. It's right behind her fireplace. There's a giant hole. After returning home from being away, the woman told police she discovered significant disturbances inside her home, including it's a large hole in the floor? Was there also one in the floor? I thought it was in the wall. It looks like it's in the wall here. Despite the fact the door was locked, there was just that giant hole there. I mean, could you imagine? Sometimes I punch the roof because the upstairs neighbor, they get kind of annoying. Not this one. These two that have lived above me are not necessarily all that bad. They do have a dog, but, a dog barks from time to time. Who really cares? But I remember the first neighbors I ever had living upstairs. I mean, I talked about those people quite a lot on the air. how just noisy they were. I feel like their kids were secretly wrestlers who were just jumping off the top rope and landing on the floor. I mean, they were shaking the entire building. But, you know how kids are. I can only imagine if I punched the roof to like, hey, quiet down. My hand goes through the floor of their place, freaks them out. I look like Kane trying to emerge, that type of thing. I don't know what this person's deal is on Reddit in r/movie suggestions. The headline that he wrote says, I want a must-watch movie that'll just traumatize me. Yeah, first I read that. Then he watched one of Victor's favorite movies, Requiem for a Dream, and he says it was the worst movie experience of my life. Goes on to say, I had a panic attack when the credits started rolling, couldn't sleep at night, blasted music on my earbuds for the next 10 hours until I passed out from exhaustion, only to be greeted by a nightmare of being put in a mental institution. I'm looking for something similar to that. Why would you want to experience that again? He's like, a movie that'll severely mess me up, but I don't want a bunch of recommendations of Human Centipede or Faces of Death where it's just suffering and gore for no reason. No, this person wants a genuinely good movie that messes you up with intention. Something horrifically gratuitous. What, did Victor ask for this? Is this his username? His burner account, Pawn279? Did I find Victor? Oh man, all these messed up movies. I feel like I should write these all down. Clockwork Orange, that movie I watched, it's not too bad. The Deer Hunter. I don't know any of these movies, thankfully. Should I just start writing these down and that way? I've always wanted to do this. I shouldn't say always, but I've wanted to do this. I wanted to show movies to my girlfriend who's, very much so sheltered. One of her friends made her watch The Substance, and she wasn't too messed up from watching that, but then I decided to show her and also her very again sheltered brother and his wife Howard Stern Private Parts, and it wasn't the best experience, to say the least. All right, so maybe I should make that a series where I record her reactions to different messed up movies. Oh, I see The Machinist with Christian Bale. I keep seeing Train Spotting with is it Ewan McGregor? Ewan McGregor, that guy. Basketball Diaries. You want a really sad movie? Watch $1 Million Baby. Movie makes you cry for sure. Doesn't necessarily mess you up, but makes you cry. But I'll keep this list here and see if I can make that a series on like TikTok or something. Traumatizing my girlfriend with the worst movies known to man. So I see two very different headlines involving animals. I see a couple of Cornell students skinned and butchered a bear in their dorm room. And then I see a nurse in Kentucky is being praised for saving a drunk raccoon. Should we go with that one to be, uplifting on this Friday? I guess this baby raccoon got drunk from eating fermented peaches and nearly drowned in a dumpster in Kentucky. Misty Combs, the registered nurse in Whitesburg, spotted the two baby raccoons in a dumpster belonging to a nearby moonshine distillery. She was able to lift one of the raccoons out with a shovel, but the other one was face down in water and thought to have drowned. But Combs picked it up, began performing CPR, chest compressions on it until the animal started breathing. The raccoon was handed over to the Kentucky Fish and Wildlife personnel who brought it to a veterinary clinic, and sure enough, vets confirmed the raccoon was drunk and was given fluids overnight to sober it up. The following day, the animal was returned to the area so that it could be reunited with its mother. Look at that. An uplifting What the Headline. You know how every radio show does good people doing good things or tell me something good, There's that version for today for What the Headline here on Peach's Pit Party. All right, let's see who has commented on my post so far in the K-Bear 101 Idaho Rock and Metal Facebook group for today's To Peach Their Own question. What was the first video game you ever played? And for every old video game that I see, I'm going to hit a certain sound on the soundboard. So far, I see one already. Combat on the Atari 2600 in 1979. Oh! There it is. Doom on my dad's PC. Mario with Duck Hunt on the regular Nintendo. Oh, I see another old answer here from loyal listener Bennett. Sabotage on the Apple back in 1981. I see pawn from multiple people. I see Sonic on Sega. Does that deserve a... Maybe. What was the first video game you ever played? Let me know. 208-535-1015. We're keeping it going with today's question. What was the very first video game you ever played today? National Video Game Day, or is it National Video Games Day? I know there's two different days. There is National Video Game Day, and there's National Video Games Day, and one's on July 8th. The other one is today. And so far, I've seen a lot of different answers here on the K-Bear 101 Idaho Rock and Metal Facebook group. But I want you to call in at 208-535-1015. I see one from Jeff. My parents had one of the very first pawn sets, which consisted of one dial on either side of a Macintosh, like the monitor acting like a paddle. It was played like you would tennis, ancient by today's games. All right, where's it at? What else is there? Pawn and Centipede. How did I know I would get a whole bunch of just pawn? Gauntlet? No, I don't think that's an old game. Frogger? That's slightly old. Banjo-Kazooie and Super Mario 64 on the Nintendo 64. Not that old, but I figured I would see a lot of pawn and just like, all the games from when video games were first made. What was the first video game you ever played? Let me know. 208-535-1015. All right, I give up on today's to peach their own question. I feel like I've already made fun of everyone's answer for being old. Let's see here. Do I see anybody else that has put an old answer on the K-Bear 101 Idaho Rock and Metal Facebook group? I see Black Marlin from Jackie. How old is that game? I've never even heard of it. Black Marlin. Oh, it just gave me the fish. Okay, fine. Video game. Black Marlin video game. Come on. Can I spell video right? Black Marlin video game. There isn't a single Black Marlin video game, but this fish appears in various fish. So, that's a fake game. Okay. Gauntlet, I still see. All right, just the Oregon Trail. Okay. Where's my old car horn? There it is. I was thinking about even games before the GameCube. Games before when I played on the Game Boy Color. I know I played Freddy Fish. When did that come out? Freddy Fish came out. Oh, okay, just gives me the overall game. Freddy Fish release date 1994. You know what? I'll give myself the. What about Pajama Sam? Pajama Sam video game release date 1996. October 4th, 1996 when it came out. I was 2 months old. Not even 2 months. I was a month and a couple of days. That's how old I was. Oh, it's available on Steam? I got my gaming computer and I have to still set it all up, but I definitely have to start downloading a whole bunch of games on Steam, and Pajama Sam might be one of them. How much is it? $6.99 for Pajama Sam. No need to hide when it's dark outside. All right, I'm copying that for sure.
Thanks for listening to Peach's Pit Party, the podcast. If you enjoyed the show, please share, subscribe, and rate the podcast. Peach's Pit Party is hosted by me, Peaches, a.k.a. Brendan Peach, and is a production of Riverbend Media Group. For more information or to contact the show, visit riverbendmediagroup.com. Until next time, Peach out.